Ja, fan. Almost forgot to press go live button. Skål på er. So I bought more beer for my perfect draft, and this is what I'm drinking right now. Golden Goose. Pretty not it's 5% alcohol. It's just a lager that's pretty good. I can recommend. So anyway, who's with us? Baltasar, Johan, Jan, Pop from by there. The old car, Plop, Greg, Piotr, for all of our friends, Scouser69, Sick, Butcherbird, Magnus. I'm super tired, people. I've been so stressed. It's been the shittiest work week in a long while. Just projects on top of projects on top of projects. They're all a pain in the ass and a shit sandwich I have to eat. And everyone is just saying, this is priority one. No, this is priority one. Do this before yesterday, and etc. It is a little bit awkward, but I have beer, so there are solutions to the immediate problems, like me staying sober on Friday after a shitty week. Skål yet again. But I'm pretty much gonna go to bed after this. Yeah, so I was considering going to the military affair tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna sleep all day, and if I don't, I'm gonna go to the shooting range and just bring my AR-15 and empty a couple of 30-rounders into paper as a pure form of meditation. And if you're a Swedish guy with a hunting license and you still haven't applied for a license for an AR-10 or an AR-15, what are you doing with your life? What are you waiting for? At least get an AK. Hello, Warsaw Patriot. What's it called? The Jack, the W something 3 letters, Polish brand of AKs. Yeah, so the guys at Action Reaction Sports, I think they're gonna sell one with an 18-inch barrel so you can have it on a hunting license in Sweden. Craig Butler is with us. Skål på er. So anyway, let's have a look at a little bit of news, I guess. Found a bunch of silly shit. So yeah, apparently the police in the northern part of Sweden got a hold of a legal gun owner's shit. And they're showing some sport shooting weapons as some kind of look what the gangsters got kind of deal. And this is... You can see it doesn't have the third pinhole. This is a regular AR-15, and this is behind a paywall. But on other pictures, you can see typical sport shooting firearms on his table. And look at his serious little face. You are so silly. If you wanna talk about criminal guns, don't show like a regular bonus AR-15 with a Brigger & Tomet suppressor on it. It's not something a criminal would ever have. It's ridiculous. Unless they stole it from a legal gun owner, I guess. Whatever. Talking about criminals. Apparently the police is being infiltrated by criminal gangs. That's kind of hilarious. The police in Sweden are pretty shit. They're pretty shit. Talking about them and their incompetence. I checked the statistics. We had over 1 shooting per day in Sweden so far this year. And more than 1 bombing or attempted bombing so far this year. I think it was 40 plus something killed and almost 80 people wounded so far in just the shootings. So yeah, and now they're being infiltrated by the gangs as well. Well, yeah, that's gonna work. But I guess they feel some kind of immigrant quota if they invite the gangs into the police, right? That's very important. This guy was released for a gun crime, but got sentenced in the appeals court. So what he did was he didn't fill out the paperwork in time for his legal Glock. So he was a day or two late with the paperwork. And the first courts freed him because it's ridiculous, and the second level of courts sentenced him for a gun crime. And it's the same law that governs these assholes who's infiltrating the police. So there's no separate law for filing your paperwork wrong for your legal handgun. Even though you haven't committed an actual crime, but you're late with paperwork, so yeah, then you have an illegal gun, so then you're the same as a regular criminal, I guess. Fuck our system. Here's a motion from Kjell-Arne Ottosson from the Christian Democrats. He wants to class shooting ranges as critical infrastructure. Well, why not? It's not going to happen, it's just a motion. It's the period now where a bunch of parliamentarians send in motions to Parliament, and usually nothing happens with this, but it's still fun to see that the Christian Democrats, this little guy, actually wants to do something about that. So he mentioned that in Finland, they're basically doing this right now in Finland, and he kind of wants to do it in Sweden as well, which is good because all our shooting ranges are going away. And it's mainly the police fault. You know, these guys being infiltrated by the gangs, they are actively trying to get rid of all the shooting ranges because they hate you. And yeah, let's continue on. So the latest on the lead ban is that the EU Commission, a bunch of EU commissioners, or MIPS, I don't remember what that abbreviation stands for, but it's basically the individual commissioners have signed a letter stating that the EU lead ban should be just cancelled. We'll see if anything happens with this. This was sent in earlier this week on the 4th. It is the 6th now. Yeah, and this was interesting. So when the stupid legislation handling magazines came to Sweden, it's not as bad as it could be if you have a gun. Like if you buy an AR-15 and a hunting license, you can only hunt with a 5-round magazine, but when you're at the shooting range you can have a regular 30-rounder. But the Home Guard doesn't actually own their firearms. It's from the military, right? The military has their full auto AK-4s or G3s. And usually they buy some extra magazines, and this guy wanted to have a license to actually have the magazines, and it's just a piece of sheet metal with a spring in it. But the police denied the license applications for him having a couple of extra mags for his Home Guard rifle. Because why not? Because they can. Did I mention fuck the police? Those guys being infiltrated by gang criminals. Skål på er. So yeah, that happened. So what is Shot saying? Warsaw says, I hope today Sweden gets gun rights and becomes like the Second Amendment. Yeah. Follow friend says WBP Jack. Yes, WBP. I'm shit with 3-letter abbreviations. And I'm working in the IT industry, and I should know all the 3-letter abbreviations, but I don't. Piotr says, the Mini Jack, Polish AK, I ordered one with a 10-inch barrel. I have to wait till November to get it. Yeah, by the way, guys, I finally decided which AR-10 I'm going to hunt moose with next year. And it's going to be the Ruger SFAR or SVAR or whatever you call it. Because it just looks so cool. It just looks cool. Let's Google that shit. So with a small frame, here we go, with a 20-inch barrel, I guess. Is this the 20-incher or is this 16? It's probably 16. So it's probably going to look something like this, I guess. But with a small form factor here, I just think it looks cool. I like the look of this. I already have a regular-sized AR-10 in 6.5 Creedmoor on my Heino. But I think this just looks cool. And with a smaller form factor, it's a tiny bit less metal in it. It's going to be awesome to hunt with. Just a good sling on that and a low power variable optic on it, and you're done. I'm obviously going to remove the muzzle device and put a suppressor on it. I'm considering getting a reflex one that goes behind the muzzle, just because it's going to be a hunting rifle, so I don't need like a super heavy steel can. I'm just going to get an aluminium can and call it good, because if I'm lucky, I'm going to fire like 1 shot per year at a moose and a couple, I guess, zeroing it and checking the zero before hunting. But yeah, that's going to be awesome. This is gonna be a proper moose hunting rifle, yeah? Or am I full of shit? What are you saying, chat? But I like this look. I like the look of this. But that's just me, and if you don't, I don't care. Buy something else for yourself. Plop wants to know if you're gonna apply for a 5.56 NATO or a 223. apply for a wild chambering, WYLD. That can chamber both 223 and 556 without any issues. Why choose when you can have both, right? How long is the waiting time for license approval in Stockholm now? 10 weeks. 10 weeks. That's the wait time in Stockholm right now. 10 weeks. So yeah. Cola says AR10 with EOTech plus 5 magnification or 1x8. Get 1x8. You're not going to do CQB or something with an aim point or EOTech. Depends actually on what we're going to use the rifle for. If you're going to use it like a hog hunting rifle or something, an aim point or an EOTech or something might be the correct choice. So actually that depends on what you're actually going to use the rifle for. But if you're just going to hunt moose with it, a 1x something will do the job. 1x4 will do the job. I hunted moose this year with a 1x4 on my lever action rifle. I'm kind of considering selling all my other hunting rifles and just buying semi-autos instead. Like I kind of have this stupid urge to get a SIG 550 because the barrel length is correct, but it's a heavy pig of a rifle though. The Nobel Carl says, did you see that ERS now has DSA 58 FNFAL? I don't trust DSA false. I don't. A friend of mine bought one of those and he's only ever had issues with it. But it's the short barreled one, so I'm not sure if it's that and it's some issues with the gas system because of that. Either way, if you get a DSA, don't buy their plastic magazines. Those are not even one-shot magazines. I've seen a new out-of-box DSA plastic mag, just load it up, put in the DSA, charge the charging handle, and the feeding lips just explodes. I don't trust DSA. I trust L1A1s or surplus FNFALs. Hello, Foxbolt. Foxbolt sold his LTR and applied for an MPR. Causes to celebrate. Cheers. Dalicarlia says he's looking after. He wants a Galil Ace sniper and a VHS2. A VHS2 is probably easier to get than a Galil Ace sniper, and also those Galil Ace snipers aren't actually snipers. They're at best a designated marksman rifle, but not even that according to me. But it is a cool rifle, so buy it because it's cool. Foul Weather Friend says, no, you can't sell your Levergat. Well, I have other hunting rifles I can sell before that one. I really do love my Levergat. Yeah. Half Trampled by this says, VH2 are a dream. Bullpups are special. The downside, the VH2 is nice. I haven't shot a VHS2. The trigger is kind of shit. And the length of pull on it, you have your hand like up here. Like this because the stock is so long. You can extend the stock even more. I think it's built for Yetis or something. I have a little bit of an issue with the VHS2, just the ergonomics of it. It's kind of shit, but it looks cool as fuck. Anyway, if you want to buy shit from Action Reaction Sports, they have a super deal on those Steyr AUGs. I think I saw that. Surplus Steyr AUGs, like, they're really nice. They're as close as you will get to a proper military AUG without it actually shooting full auto. Skål Hans. Normal says L1A1 Master Race. Yeah, a good friend of mine got himself an L1A1 on a hunting license. I'm waiting for him. He promised to send me a picture of him shooting a moose with an L1A1. But he got his L1A1, I think it was from Action Reaction Sports actually, and yeah, on a hunting license up in northern Sweden. Normal says, let's not mention that because YouTube will probably hate me, and you're not buying it for 3,000. Fuck you. Yeah, Hans, are you getting a hunting license just to buy more shit? Do it. Take a weekend course, get your cool guns. I'm gonna show the one I want again. Look at it. It's pretty cool. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I'm not even gonna change anything. I might change this grip for, I think it's the K2. You want to have this in line, and it goes down a little bit, and it has a little hole here for the webbing of your hand. I really enjoy that Magpul grip, and it is a little bit more vertical. Probably if I buy this, I'm gonna change to that grip, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just that I'm used to it. I have it on all my AR-15s, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's a nice rifle, and it has some kind of nice trigger as well. It's probably gonna be a good enough trigger for hunting purposes. I don't want a super light match trigger for a hunting rifle. Just if it breaks clean, if the trigger breaks clean, even if it's a little bit heavy, that's better for me. Because if it breaks clean, it's consistent. So my Carl Gustaf 1900 is heavy as all hell, but it breaks clean, and I can be super accurate with it, even though the trigger is pretty heavy. Boosted says, Saga, I just bought a 2 PMAG Gen Freeze. They won't drop freely. My DD M4V7 Pro is not fired around yet. Have you had problems with those in your DD lower? I don't have a DD lower. I haven't had any problems with Magpul mags dropping free in any rifle. Have you tried it with some shit in your rifle? I guess if it's super serious for it, just put some sandpaper on your plastic mags and just get rid of a tiny amount of material. Magnus says, at this rate we will all need several wives with a hunting life. So yeah, just turn Mormon or Muslim or something, get a bunch of extra wives, and then buy shit, I guess. That's a viable solution. Polygamy for the win. Yeah, I'm not sure that'll actually work. Any experience with a Springfield Helium Bullpup? Isn't that the VHS2? It's the name in the United States for the VHS2. Yeah, so it's probably a good rifle, but I feel that the Steyrog has a better trigger, even though the Steyrog doesn't have an actually good trigger. Like a Glock has a shitty trigger. Steyrog has a mushy trigger. The VHS2 has a heavy and mushy trigger. But it's just the length of pull I have an issue with the VHS2 or the Springfield Helium Bullpup or whatever. Plops ask, 5.56 or 223, which caliber choice do you make as the police? The one that it says it actually shoots. It is actually a real difference between 5.56 and 223. It's an academic difference, pretty much. 5.56 has like tiny, the dimension is, you can shoot both in the same barrel or chamber, but 5.56 is higher pressure. So I guess at least older rifles in 223 will have some issues with 5.56 after a while. But if you're just put in a license application whatever the person selling it to you says you should put on it. It should, you just read what it says on the barrel, the roll mark on the barrel, and then put that on the license application. But as I said earlier, if you can choose the caliber yourself, get a wild chambering, because that can handle both without issue. Eric says, I like the AUG trigger quite a bit. I must be a freak. Yeah, I've trimmed my AUG trigger so much. The length you have to pull the trigger is like minuscule. The transfer bar has a little set screw, and you can set it exactly as you want it. If you remove the plastic housing for everything, you can get to the trigger and you can time it perfectly. So you just have to pull it a little bit to make it go boom, the Steyrog. And I don't have any problems with that. It works fine, but everybody who shoots my Steyr shoots it, bump fires it without actually wanting to bump fire it, because the pull length is so short on my AUG. So the recoil, because people are shit at shooting, so when it bumps a little bit on your shoulder, that's enough for people to fire a burst. I never had an issue myself, but I never even knew it was an issue because I know how to fire a rifle. But everyone else just fucks up and shoots like 3 rounds immediately, like it would be full auto. But they're just bump firing it. It's not full auto. Well, whatever. So when someone tries my AUG, I load it with 1 round. Eric says he likes the short travel as well. Yeah. So you can change a bunch of shit in the. So the entire trigger mechanism is just plastic and some metal springs. You can change some parts of it into things like aluminium or something with some coating that makes it super slick, and that makes the trigger a lot better. There are several parts you can change, but my trigger housing is some kind of unique snowflake, so none of that fits into mine. I don't know what the part name is, but at the let's see if I can find a trigger back. Okay, so I found some pictures. So this part is metal on mine, and this part you can change into metal, this part, and if your trigger pack supports it on a Steyr, it makes the trigger even better. But yeah, I have this part in metal on mine at least, but as you can see, it's pretty much all plastic. The AUG is a cool rifle. It came out in the 1960s and it still kicks ass. It's so nice. Shit, I'm gonna bring my AUG tomorrow to the shooting range. It's gonna be awesome. God damn it. I'm gonna shoot some groups with it and they're gonna be terrible because I only have the donut of death. Arball77 says, my brother has a VHS2 and it's a nice rifle and trigger is pretty bad, but I have heard it's a good trigger for a Bullpup. Depends on the Bullpup. The Desertec MDR has a pretty nice trigger for a Bullpup. It's actually just a nice trigger, and if you the Desertec Bullpups that's bolt action, they have a match trigger. That's, I don't know what black magic they use in those, but those triggers are really nice. Those are proper sniper rifle triggers, or whatever you want to call it, match triggers. And then yeah, they usually get pretty mushy because you have the transfer bars and all that, and in military rifles they don't really give a shit, so they're heavy and mushy. But you can trim the AUG trigger pretty nicely. The AUG has been around for a while, so it's doable. That's the downside of getting a VHS2. The aftermarket isn't that big if there exists one. Magnus says, need a full auto tax stamp on that finger. Yeah, well, we don't have full auto tax stamps in Sweden. If you manage to get a license for a full auto rifle, well, there you go. Eric says, before replacing any part, most people just take the time to adjust the transfer bars to eliminate the slop. Yeah. You should do that on a Steyr. That's the first thing you do. It's so easy. Just dry fire it, tighten it, make sure it's as you want it. Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Successfully connected again. What are you doing, YouTube? Well, as I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm super tired and I'm almost out of beer. So if chat still works, put some questions in chat for me before. Butcherbird, as a broke university student, what semi-auto rifle should I buy? At Ruger 1022. If you're really broke, get a used Ruger 1022. I'm gonna guess a bunch of people are gonna sell the Ruger PC carbines now for cheap. So check Blocket and other places if you can buy used stuff cheaply. Check the auction sites as well. Some of the traditional semi-autos that's always been okay to own is gonna get really cheap, really fast in Sweden now. So if you just want a semi-auto to blast and have fun at the shooting range, check out Blocket and auction sites. You can probably get a really good deal for that shit at Valterborg's auction this autumn. But whatever you do, even if you get it really cheap, never buy a BAR Browning match. That shit's just a money pit. Tack wants to know what I think on the LMT 308 or Galil. I would get the LMT 308 before the Galil, but the Galil is cool. It's just personal preference. If you think the Galil is cool, you should get a Galil. What about the Luvo AR? Well, I always had hard times with my Luvo AR. I have one Luvo AR and it's shit, and I never use it. I might have some super old video about it, but yeah, I'm never gonna recommend a Luvo because mine is so shit. They might be good nowadays, but fuck Luvo, they fucked me over. But yeah, I don't know. If you wanna chance it, get a Luvo. Psychonaut has ordered a Ruger AR-556. I hope I'm satisfied. It's his 5th Ruger. Oh, that's cool. I always loved Rugers. My Marlin is an old-timey Marlin. It's not a Ruger Marlin, but you can pretty much call it a Ruger now, I guess. And the 1022s have always been fun. And I'm probably never gonna sell my 1022. It's just so much fun. And what else do I have? I used to own a Mini 14 as well, so I've had a bunch of Rugers. Mika says you can buy a Mini 14. Don't buy a Mini 14. Well, if you just want a cool A-team semi-auto, buy a Ruger Mini 14, I guess. Eric wants to know, what is the legality in Sweden when it comes to spare parts? I have so many spare bolts for ARs, but those are pressure-bearing components, and I hear they have no regulation or barrel so pretty much pressure-bearing components are regulated. So bolts, upper receiver, barrel. Those 3 parts for an AR at least is going to require a separate license if you want one. So you can't just get an extra bolt for an AR. You have to apply for a license for an extra bolt. And when we do, they try to fuck us over. Which is kind of silly. Even if they want a license for it, they should just let us have an extra bolt. That's a part that's sooner or later is going to break. So I would love to have extra bolts for all my rifles. But yeah, I'm not going to get one. But if they do break, I can go to a gun store. If it's just a regular AR-15 bolt, I can just go to a gun store with my broken bolt and my license, say, I want a new one, here's the old one, scrap that one, give me a new one, and it's no questions asked. So that's possible to do. But it's kind of hard to do it on a competition between stages when a bolt breaks. So, still, fuck the police. Mika says, hey, you wanted a cheap semi-auto. I didn't say anything about precision or serviceability. That's true. If it's just a price tag, just get whatever you can find, I guess. So if you shoot out your barrel, more police bureaucracy. Well, if you're just swapping the barrel, it's not going to be a big deal. You can just take your barrel, give it to the gunsmith, get your new one, and he will scrap the old one, and you're just going to laser the correct serial number on it and handle the paperwork with the police, and then you can just throw money at the gunsmith and go home with your new barrel. That's pretty fine. That's doable. So yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. If your parts break, you can go to the gunsmith and get some new shit. But one thing that's ironically better in Sweden compared to the US, there are no regulations on lowers. I could technically go and buy an M16 lower with all the fun parts in it. probably it's probably gonna be interpreted as like preparation to commit a gun crime or something. But technically, I can buy as many lowers as I want. Yeah, those are not regulated, which makes actual sense. And it's just been done wrong in the United States since forever regarding ARs. I believe the ATF tried to change that a couple of years ago, and then they realized, oh shit, that's not gonna work. We're fucked. Mikael loves his Mini 14. As I said, I used to own a Mini 14. I have a couple of Mini 14 videos, old ones. But I sold my Mini to a guy in the shooting club. But I don't miss my Mini 14 because I never shot it. Since I have a bunch of ARs, AKs, and whatnot, the Mini 14, yeah, it was so inaccurate. My Mini 14 was made before Remington bought. When Remington was it? I think it was Remington who had. Whatever company fucked over the Mini 14. If it was Ruger, was it Ruger? Who they had old machines or whatever. The accuracy was shit, and it was a shit firearm. Connor wants to know if I have any upcoming videos. Yeah, I have a shitload of upcoming videos. I'm just lazy at this point. It's not just the videos; it's everything. I haven't really done a lot. I'm not sure why, but I have a bunch of videos in the pipeline, and I should really just start uploading them. I just need to sit down and edit them. Maybe I'll do that. I'm too tired to do anything today, but maybe I'll try to get started with that. I have a bunch of videos with Mark Serbo I haven't edited yet. With me firing an AK-5 together with Mark Serbo. I should upload that video. That's gonna be cool. Well, whatever. Right, so anyway, I'm all out of beer, people, and I'm super tired after a long, shitty work week, so yeah. You guys write angry comments in my videos if I don't start uploading again, and just slap me over the internet or something. Right, I do have a bunch of videos I should upload, so I guess look forward to that. Now I'm gonna go into my shell and hibernate in my bed. You guys have a nice weekend and do what I do. Go to the range and shoot at your ARs. See ya.